Hello, Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning, and this is my co-host,
Brad Erie, who I just kicked the table.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't need that other knee. We're good.
This guy, I tell you, he's a walking hazard.
All
right, so Brad missed the last podcast because
evidently I tripped and fell and then tripped again.
Yeah, busted his head open.
Busted my head.
Miraculous. It was a miracle. I prayed very hard for him, and he survived. So anyway, we talked fitness last time. Today we're going to talk some interesting subjects, but first we're going to talk about the fact, because Brad's very interested in talking about the fact that I got married.
Well, I was going to say that you shaved your beard. That was like the number one thing on my mind. Was like you shaved your beard.
Well, I asked my now wife, I go, well, what do you like the beard or do you like a goatee? Because she's been with me.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. But I asked her, and that was her choice, was the goatee instead of the beard. So
already key to a happy marriage. Just let her
there's one person I care if they think I'm attractive or not.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do whatever they think is attractive. They're the one that.
And I feel like I've been replaced with that. I feel like now your wife has replaced me in what you want to find attractive. That's hurtful. But my boy,
you're lucky I'm still doing the podcast with you.
My boy got married all of a sudden.
It wasn't that sudden.
6 years.
Yes, it happened very suddenly.
Yes. So walk me through the process. So when did you know?
Well, most people don't even know the story, so I'll give a brief synopsis of what has happened. I'll try not to drag it out too much.
Oh, we got time.
Plus, my significant other is not my wife is not like a bunch of private details of her life getting out there.
Yeah.
So I won't get too into it, but I'll give you basic general.
So we're not going to get her on the podcast?
No, she's kind of like she likes to keep to herself. Okay. Like, oh, come on, I'm very open, and she's open. She's just not like somebody who wants all of her details announced, on something that people can watch in every country and listen to. Do you want that?
Yeah,
you got to think about that before you say shit. Me, I'm just like whatever. But it's been 6 years and 9 months since her and I first got together.
Yeah.
She was a couple months out of being separated from her ex-husband. And she had lots of stuff going on after a 15-year marriage and stuff, but we really hit it off. It was like, man, it was at the time, I think I have to do math.
I know.
I was like 46,
45. And
she was in her upper 30s. She's like 7 years younger than me.
Nice.
So anyway, I knew that just having met her and stuff and going through it, I knew that it would be that we had something special. I'd never experienced that in my 45 years of being in different relationships. I was recently, within weeks, I was out of a 1.5-year relationship with somebody else. And when her and I started talking, and then we ended up, the second time she lived, or it was more of a long distance relationship thing. So the second weekend I went down and spent with her, I was like, I knew that this was the woman who I wanted to be with. And none of this is stuff that she doesn't already know that I wouldn't tell anybody. But I was like, this is special. I've been married. I've been in many relationships over the years. I knew it was special. She'd been in a marriage, and it was not good for a long time, but she tried to stick it out for the kids and the religion and those type of things. But it just was not a good, happy place. I think her ex-husband's probably happier now, much happier, and she's much happier. So it's just one of those things. But when you go through that, there's a lot of finding yourself and going through different levels of emotional, trauma and the what happened during the relationship. Those things, there was no like abuse or anything like. There was no physical abuse. We'll say that, but she had a lot of stuff she had to process and deal with. So I knew it was going to be a long road. I didn't think it would be 6 years and 9 months.
Yeah,
but so we had just a magical first year of our relationship, and then started her like going through some different things, and she would just push me away. We'd be going great, everything be fine, and within a couple days I would be out of the picture for like a month or two. Or at one time we got engaged in 2022.
Oh, newsflash.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got engaged. We were engaged. We had like pictures on Facebook. I bought her a ring, everything. We did this big announcement, and we were engaged 2 months before she broke off the engagement. And a lot of it just has to do with this stuff.
Well, no wonder you moved fast on.
Well, when we eventually, like after she broke off the engagement, we weren't together for 13 months.
Yeah.
So it was a long time.
Yeah.
I really dated very little during this period of when we would break up. I only ever dated one person during our breakups. And this is so in the last 7 years, I really only dated one person.
Yeah.
And even that person knew that I wasn't really emotionally available.
Yeah.
So I would go out and go on some dates, and then I would just, they're not her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, she is.
So it's hard.
She is
hard to deal with. When you're
beautiful lady.
Well, she's beautiful, but she's just, there's something her and I had said, there's a connection her and I have that I don't have with anyone else. And you can call it soulmates, you can call it true love, you can call it whatever. Yeah. But her and I have like a special connection where I just want to be with her.
Yeah.
I can be with her the rest of my life, and I guarantee you that I'll never want to be with anybody else. And there's something there that I just you can't put into words.
Yeah.
So we were broken up, got back together, but like in the last year, she moved here. She lives, within 15 minutes of me. And we were back and forth where, she was going through these different transitions, and we would be together, then we want to be together. And she would like, just, it's not going to work and blah. And she would just go through these different cycles of emotions and stuff. And sometimes things were amazing and great. And other times, they were just, everything that was good with me was bad, and all this stuff. And it's a real process that we went through over almost 7 years. And recently she reached out to me after we've been broken up for a couple months, and she just said that she was sure that I was the one she wanted to be with. She was absolutely 100% sure, and that she's sorry it took so long to figure it out, but she knew in her heart, and she knew she wanted to be with me for the rest of her life.
Oh,
and she's always known. We never once, even though we weren't together, did we never say we didn't love each other. We always loved each other, but she always had all these weird, you got to be this, or you have to do this, or this is too hard, or I want this to be easier. And it's like, nothing's easy in life.
Yeah.
But when you haven't been through a lot of stuff, she went through a lot of stuff being married for a long time. I never was married 15 years and then had to go through I went through the whole divorce with her. I went through custody battles with her over the last 7 years. We've been through a lot. And she's had a lot of ups and downs and weird, crazy emotional swings, where she thought she was going to be able to move. Then they had to fight in court for almost 2 years, and it kept getting extended out. It seemed like it didn't seem like it. The court was dragging its feet and not doing a good job too. And they were allowing her ex to, manipulate the court and say, oh, my lawyer got COVID. We need to extend it. Well, the next date is 6 months from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you
can understand a little bit why she was going through the ringer.
She was going through the ringer with a lot of stuff, so that led to a lot of things. But she just all of a sudden just decided, all right, I don't know why I've been fighting this so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And so that's what led to me getting married.
Finally, that Casey charm just wore her down.
It was always there, and we always had something special. She would always acknowledge that we have something special, and that we love each other very much. But she just always had these weird manufactured things in her head that she thought would cause problems, or that and so once it's almost like she just kind of had an epiphany, and she came to me, and I was hesitant and suspicious, and like I'd been through this, and I'd already decided that probably wasn't going to happen, and so it was like real interesting when she came back, and I was real hesitant, and after about 5 days she goes, I was like, okay, I believe you're different, and you are 100% into this, so I believe you. Just we need some time and stuff. And she's like, we just need to see, that we're not going to go through one of these up cycles and down cycles. And so after like 5 days, we had that conversation, and then a couple days later, she's like, we should just get married. I was like, and she'll go, don't tell people I proposed to you. I go, you didn't really propose to you. I proposed to you 2 years ago, or over 2 years ago. But it was like, she goes, because I told her, I go, I don't want a long engagement again. I just want to go get married. I don't want to do the whole, oh, here's our wedding announcement or engagement announcement. I just want to get married. And she goes, you said a while back, last year when we were talking, I go, you just want to get married, right? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, let's do it. Let's fly to Vegas. And I was like, I didn't know. I go, I don't want to spend all that money to go to Vegas to get married. Yeah. So then we eventually just did it at the county clerk's office. And we got married on Monday. So today's Thursday. So, but she's so 100% into everything. It's so different. Right. She's very happy. She's very happy to be my wife. It's crazy when you see like somebody just like their wall, like you put up a bunch of walls to protect you.
Yeah.
And then you finally say, what the hell am I putting up all these walls to protect me from this guy? This guy's a protector. I don't need to protect myself from him. And she just kind of seemed to let down all those walls and just like open up to that. And it just all went very fast because I've always known that I would love to spend the rest of my life with her.
All right. So I got some rapid fire questions and some comments.
All right.
Let's do some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Prenup. Is there any chance that she's just using you to get to the gym? Just want to say, like, in 3 years, she's going to take the gym. Okay, just checking. I worry about you and my gym. Like, this is my second home. Like, this is my portrait solitude here.
No.
All right. Next question. How many kids do you have now? Your family went from 2 kids. Now you have.
I have my 2 kids and 5 stepkids now.
That's right. Now, I just want to say a comment in here. I know I've seen you interact with her kids. I've met your wife several times. She is a sweetheart. She's very sweet to me. I like her a lot. But I love how you've just taken over her kids and how I've seen how they react to you at different times.
I get along very well with her kids. Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's going to be awesome. All right. Back to my questions. Are you going to sell your house?
Yes.
Are you going to move into the ranch?
Yes.
All right. Now, are you going to put fake snow? Because I don't know if everyone knows out in the podcast verse that my very autistic son is obsessed with your Christmas decorations in your Roseville house. And every year he's already started asking. In fact, I was going to bring him here one of these days and let him ask you to your face to say, when are you putting up these Christmas decorations and when you can see his snow? So, is there any way, rapid fire question, can we get some snow in the ranch? Just get like a little section, rope it off.
We'll decorate out at the ranch. Just very few people will see it because it's.
Well, I will drive out there.
It's on a dirt road. You have to go down a gravel road a little ways, and it's out in Penryn. So, it's. This will probably be the last Christmas.
Yeah.
The goal would be to put my house on the market in late spring, early summer of next year.
Yeah.
And then however long it takes to sell.
Are your kids coming with you?
We don't know yet.
Okay, good question.
So there's a little bit of room out there, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But both of my kids are more interested in just maybe renting an apartment or something.
Yeah.
Not, just because my son walks to work right now.
Yeah.
And so being out where we're at, you can't really walk to work.
Yeah.
I mean, the
your
closest
son is awesome. Like, I'm going to raise your rent. He's like, fine, Dad. I got your money.
Yeah. If he doesn't keep his room clean, I raise his rent.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're not sure yet what's going to happen there. My daughter is hoping to have her hair business up and running at that time. She's where she works right now, and my granddaughter and stuff. But I would guess that my son will probably look to rent something because he doesn't want to drive.
Yeah,
and living out in Penryn, you have to drive.
Your son is smart. He's like, I'm just going to stay home, save money, play video games with my man.
That's what he does. He has his expensive, homemade built gaming computer. He has 3 screens on his desk. He has screens on the wall. He has a great setup, and he saves his money. He spends his money very frugally, so he always has money. He can afford an apartment on his own probably, but he'll probably maybe rent out something. It's possible him and my daughter may rent something together. Yeah. Who knows?
I just love how
my daughter could come and live with my grandchild and come live out there too. It's possible. And Amber and I have a lot of work to do on the ranch too. The ranch needs a lot of work done to clean it up. I mean, there's around the house area, is pretty nicely done. Her mom has done a lot of work around there over the last number of years. And originally, when she bought it, I spent a bunch of time doing a lot of stuff around there that nobody does now. So like they keep around the ranch clean, but the 4.5 acres around, there's a gold mine on the property.
Ooh.
You know, there's all this stuff, and it really needs cleaned up and a lot of work.
So do you think there's any chance she married you just as a helping hand? Like this is one way. So I got a guy with a strong grip, a strong core muscles. You can lift a lot.
It's possible. I'm just a ranch hand.
Okay, more rapid fire questions.
Yep.
All right. So will I get to walk you down the aisle?
No.
Oh, that's hurt.
Women get walked down the aisle.
Come on. Can I be the ring bearer?
No, that's going to be my granddaughter and my stepdaughter are going to do that.
What's your granddaughter got over me?
I will invite you to the wedding, though.
Okay. All right.
It's not going to be a big, like, extravaganza. We may invite a few more people out. Like, the ceremony is going to be, it's just for, we're already married.
Yeah.
But we want to do a little ceremony, and we'll actually do our own vows and that kind of stuff to each other.
Will I see you cry?
Probably not, but
lame.
You know, I'm not saying it isn't possible.
Yeah.
You know, so if she starts, and she's also not somebody who wears her emotions on her sleeve.
Yeah.
At times she does, but if she were to cry, then it might bring out a few tears in mine. But anyway, I'm not somebody who's never cried. You know, I'm not emotionalist, but probably not.
Will there be the chicken dance at the wedding?
Have not got that far yet.
Oh, come on.
I did start making a playlist of all the songs that mean stuff to us, but
can we separate all the guests to Jedis and Sith?
No.
Can I wear my Jedi robes? Can we have a?
You know what? You can. If you want to, you can.
Can we have a Star Wars wedding?
No, she does not like Star Wars.
All right, well, that's her only.
You know what's great though is her kid. Like most of her kids love Star Wars. She's not into Star Wars really, but most of her kids really love Star Wars. So
I know
Jaden, her oldest, who's going to UC Santa Barbara right now, loves Star Wars. He's a total Star Wars.
Yeah, fan. I just love how you're just going to be the greatest stepdad ever. Like they don't know. People look at you and you don't know that you're just a big soft gummy bear. You know, wrapped in this alpha male body, and you're just like the most lovable.
I like being Savannah, who lives up here.
Yeah,
and I will. It's really cute because now I just go, "Hey, what's up, stepdaughter?"
Yeah,
you know, because it's all you know. My wife is now grandma.
Yeah,
you know, so you know, but she's been there like. So when my granddaughter was born 9 months ago, she was there. She was holding my daughter's leg up with and then my daughter's best friend. They were helping her, you know, in the birthing process, right? She's been there from the start. So it's funny to go, oh, look, it's grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma's here.
That's amazing.
Bonus grandma. But
more people to babysit and watch the baby.
Yeah. I mean, well, she was even when we were broken up, she watched the baby a few times because you know she's close with my daughter too. So, but anyway,
I got one last question.
All right.
When are we going to have a big bonfire at the ranch? Like my kids really love having fire pits. They like marshmallows. My son really just likes burning marshmallows and letting them drop in a fire. It really ignites him. My daughter loves s'mores. I mean, come on, you got this whole ranch.
Yeah,
trust
me, there's a lot of trees that need cut down too.
We're ready to come over.
No, those are all things that we'll probably do. Who knows? We could do the wedding and once it gets dark or whatever, then you know.
I'm so ready.
We haven't thought enough about. Last night she sent me a bunch of colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hey, because we're doing more of a Western kind of wedding.
Yeah.
And so she sent me some pictures and she goes, I like these colors and I like this.
Can we all wear cowboy boots?
Well,
with my Jedi robe.
If you have cowboy boots, then yes.
Okay.
So, but I'll probably be wearing cowboy boots. Yeah. I won't be wearing I'm going to be wearing a hat too because she bought me.
Yes.
She had bought me a black hat,
Yellowstone theme.
Back when we went to, what was it for Christmas? Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. A nice black felt because we always talked like we're kind of like ripping Beth on Yellowstone, so she got me the black cowboy hat.
Yeah.
So I'm not a cowboy hat wearer per se, but probably for the wedding,
but
I'll
the
be
wife,
wearing a
just do
cowboy
what
hat.
to say.
She already said you didn't get rid of the hat, did you? And I'm like, no, because I haven't worn it since we went to a concert together. Like,
I'll pay you $100 to wear that Darth Vader mask.
No.
Walk out.
No, she does not want a Star Wars.
Your lack of
and it's not, and it's going to be a smart, like it's going to be like family, and close friends.
Yeah,
I'm
into the close friends.
You will get you will get invited to the wedding. So
I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, one last thing, and then I'll let you off the hook.
Okay.
I just want to say I want nothing best for you and her and your families. I am so happy for you. I'm so excited. I hope you guys have the best life together. Like, I want nothing but the best for you. I've known you've loved this woman for a long time, for as long as I've known you. I was like, oh man, he got married. I was so shocked.
Yep.
Seriously,
I was shocked, but you see, not just you, we told only our kids.
Yeah.
And I think she had told, and obviously her mom lives out at the ranch, so she found out. And her dad happened to call like over the weekend whenever we had got engaged. But like, I didn't tell anybody but my two kids.
Yeah, I think that is awesome.
So like, we got married, and then I called my mom, my sisters, my grandma, and then we posted on Facebook, and then everybody was like, "What the hell?"
You caused me to reopen Facebook, which I haven't done in like years. Everyone's like, "Get to Facebook with Casey," and I'm like, "Facebook."
Yeah, like posted, because Facebook's where I like my Instagram page.
Yeah,
I don't post anything that, on rare occasions, but I don't post a lot of personal stuff on Instagram because that's my Roseville Strength and Conditioning page. I will post stuff, like there was a cute picture of that my wife had taken of my granddaughter, which then I also posted and put in there.
That's how I figured it out first.
So I didn't like announce, hey, I got married. I just put my wife takes great pictures.
I didn't see it the first time, and then I go back and I'm reading it again, and I'm like, wife. Oh, okay. All right. I am blown away, but I'm very happy for you both.
It was very cool, and we did it for ourselves. It wasn't like, we didn't go telling everybody and stuff. It was like, we're getting married, because like I always say is, guess what? When you have kids, you love your kids a certain amount. You know, like you love, well, not amount, but you just pretty much love them unconditionally. Unless they try, to kill somebody or shoot the president, then I'm like, hey, fuck you. I didn't teach you that shit. What the heck's your problem? Maybe somebody goes rogue, but in general, you just love your kids and you try to do the best by them and stuff. But guess who you spend, if you get married to somebody, they live in a house with you. I mean, eventually her and I are going to be living together, and within the next year, we'll be living in the same house. We'll probably be back and forth between our two houses for a while, because it's a little bit of a commute from there to get to here. But, so some weekdays I'll probably be here, and she's come and stayed at my house quite a bit over the last few weeks. But they're your closest person.
Yeah.
And like when the kids have their lives and they're married and they got their kids, who's in the house with you?
Just you and a dog.
And her.
Yeah.
And me. It's like they're the most important people. So it was all about her and I. When she was ready, and I really believed she was ready, because I was like going, okay, we're getting back together. All right, great. And you seem different, and everything seems different. And I'm getting this feeling that it's different, but I want it to be proven, over time. And then you just, after spending it, she just is like 100% like all in. She's like being the way that I usually am about things. And I'm like sitting there like going, wow, she's really like all in. And then she's like, you want, look, I'll prove it to you. Let's get married.
It seems match made.
And that's a big deal for her. Like
she got a helping hand, like a good, strong, helping guy to help her with the ranch, and you get a ranch, and you get 5 great kids.
Yeah, well, it's a great place. It's a nice place out there, and we'll be happy. And I was already planning on. I had 2 plans.
Yeah.
I had my primary plan, which I wanted to marry her and be with her.
Yeah.
And the secondary plan was, and then in a similar period of time, maybe not quite as soon as late spring or summer.
Yeah.
I was going to put my house on the market,
I know this plan.
And sell the business and move out of the state of California.
So the
now that has
sending Amber all the time to like hurry up and marry this guy because I can't lose this gym yet. So I'm glad that she finally listened to me.
And I don't know how long I'll do the gym. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I do have a lease here until April of 2026.
I need, let's see, Maddox is going to turn 9. I need about 3.5 years.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So you can do Maddox.
Well, the other thing is like my goal is when I sell my house, I will be listing my house.
Yeah,
I'm getting my real estate license and stuff, so I'll be listing my house, and I'm not going to go full on real estate. I mean, I love what I do here too, but I will dabble in that for a while, and it is something I can do up until my old age too. So I will probably be doing some real estate and doing my business, too. So but it's cool. Everything went so smoothly. Like we were able to get her ring.
Yeah.
And like what's funny is like we ordered mine on Amazon. It's just like a $35 silicone ring, breathable ring. And because I didn't want like a ring because they get bent lifting weights and stuff like that.
Yes, I've learned the hard way of having a ring.
I can keep the silicone ring on all the time. I never have to take it off, really. So, and we got her a nice ring, and it was sized and ready to go by Sunday.
Ooh.
So, and it was beautiful and it turned out great. And shout out to Shane Company. They did a great job. And
we're going to have this wedding after the Spartan race, right? I mean, come on.
It will be not until the springtime.
Okay, good.
So everything will be nice and green out at the ranch. Yeah. The flowers will be blooming, and I'll have had time to get my house ready to sell, and then also do a lot of work at the ranch trying to, get everything ship shape and, build a
spring weddings,
build a gazebo type thing where, or some type of archway where we'll do the wedding. We'll do all that stuff, but there's time. We're not in a rush or whatever. We live close to each other, and so. But that's the big news since our last podcast.
So the big news is you shaved your beard and just kind of got married. All right, that covers that.
The beard was only like 2.5 weeks old.
I leave you alone for one podcast, and you go and get all married on me.
Yeah. So, but I love her very much, and we're very, very happy together, and we enjoy calling each other husband and wife.
Yes.
So.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
You know what? I'm a little shook.
Yeah. It happened very quickly. Trust me. You should have heard. My mom was shocked. She was happy. She knows anybody who knows me knows how much I love Amber and how special Amber is to me. And that I was the type of guy before Amber, even though I really care about this person, this shit ain't working. And I'm just like, I put up with so much breaking up, getting back together, all these weird
women, right? Sorry, honey, I'm not talking about you, but yes, women, adults.
Well, I'll say that in general, all women are crazy.
Yes, at least you got a crazy hot.
There's different types of crazy though, and you have to find the type of crazy that works for you. Because we're simple. We're simpletons. Most guys. There's some real psychos out there too that are great, but an average dude, like I would consider you and I, we're just average guys. We're not. If we have a place to sleep, if we have a place to watch TV, a gym to work out in, sex and food,
we're happy.
We're pretty happy. Women have all this weird stuff that goes on in their head, and they create all these weird, like let's say guys get in a fight. Yeah. We'll just punch each other, beat each other up, and then sometimes you're friends after.
Yeah, and then we go get a beer.
Yeah, that can happen. With women, it's like, and it's like mean, nasty, jabbing people, trying to sabotage people's lives. It's just different, so men and women, I always say all women are crazy to a certain level. Yeah. There's some real stable women out there and stuff that aren't crazy, but they have
those are called
quirks. There's little quirks and stuff. But you have to find your type of crazy.
Yeah, she's got to match the freak.
Yeah, like she has to be like that person that you'll put up with that crazy. Yeah. And so, and when I say crazy, it doesn't mean you're psychologically or clinically crazy. I mean,
but it could.
It could. But it means that you just have a whole lot more going on in your head than a guy does. Yeah. Like I'm a pretty intelligent person. I'm well-read and stuff, but I'm very simple. Like it doesn't take a lot to keep me happy.
You just need, 6 out of the 7 forms of Star Wars.
Yeah. But, Jedi.
Yeah.
A Jedi book every once in a while.
I mean, just your wife has to put on the slave outfit every now and then, to keep things spicy or play like a naughty Sith. I mean, just, games. Yeah. And oh, by the way, Barbara told me she's claiming credit for you guys getting married. Just FYI.
She isn't. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
I know. She told me. She's like, "Why don't you guys just go get married?"
The night before, we decided we were going to get married, and the next day at 1:00, we were going to go over and meet each other and get our marriage license. So then we were ready to go for our 10 a.m. appointment on Monday. We're going to have to go in and go do a bunch of paperwork, just a little bit of paperwork before going in. So the night before, Thursday night, and then I trained Barbara on Friday morning. She just goes, "Well, you guys will probably just end up getting married," because she had asked how things were going and stuff, and I go, "Things are going great," and I go, and she somehow I don't know if she asked her something about Amber. I go, "Yeah, we're talking a lot again, and so we're seeing each other again and stuff," and she's like, "Oh, you guys will probably just get married," like just a flip it kind of comment, and she didn't know that we were already the night before discussing, because I didn't even tell people her and I were back together.
I think she's spying on you,
because we were back together for like a week to 10 days before, we really decided, before we started talking marriage stuff. So, but it's been a long road.
Yes.
And the thing that Amber acknowledged, she goes, "Hey, it took you 2 weeks. It took me 6 years and 9 months. She had to figure it out for sure." But, after she did, she's been all in and she's been amazing. And we're just really slowly starting to plan out. We already had a game plan for when we got married, but now we're executing on it. And then we're trying to figure out, all right, what timetables. Then we have a wedding to plan. We have to get my house, ready to sell and then sell it. And get the ranch fixed up too. So, and have stuff done out there. It's a lot. So we just have to chip away at it, stuff like that.
Blending 2 families.
You and Maddox can come out and help do some work at the ranch.
He would love it.
I'm sure he would. A lot of cutting of wood and brush and weed eating and all kinds of stuff. So
if you need any demolition, he's the guy. He would just go over and tear it apart.
So that's it. Well, we're off of wedding talk now.
Okay.
Talk, and we'll get into some fitness talk.
All right.
So I always like, when seasons start changing, it is October 3rd.
Yeah.
Whenever Brad gets this podcast up. Preferably today or tomorrow or something. So it's now October. Now here it's still 100 degrees.
It's hot.
Area.
Yeah.
Roseville has been 100 for a couple of days. I think it's going to be 100 for a couple more days. Next week, it looks like it may be back down into the 80s. And then hopefully we start that trend towards winter. So I always like to give a little talk to my clients, or when I'm recruiting, I'll do like some social media posts coming up where just because it's winter and you're wearing a sweater and a coat and you're not wearing bikinis and shorts and tank tops doesn't mean you stop your fitness regimen. So you got to stay in shape. And then the winter is a great time to get in really good shape, because all those people that in January start going, "We're going to New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. And then the gyms fill up. Guess what? In November and December and October, the gyms are empty, especially in November and December. Because trust me, business slows down here. It's when I take the most amount of time off is in November and December. Number one, because I love Christmas and I do a ton of Christmas decorating. But there's just nobody who wants to show up. Even my clients that are paying are like, everybody's like, "Oh, I'm out of town this week," or "I'm gone this week." So my schedule really thins out during those times of the year because everybody gets consumed by other things. And then everybody starts losing the priority of looking good because I got this big hoodie on. Nobody can see that I'm fat. Nobody can see that I'm gaining weight.
You got pumpkin spice.
Yeah, so the average American between October 15th and February 15th gains 7 pounds. An average American. That means there's a lot of people gaining 10,
well, that means 15, there's like
20
people
pounds
like us who are not gaining 7 pounds, and then like 30 people gaining like 40.
Because people just go, okay, and I get it. I don't like pumpkin spice bullshit that's out right now. But they're already like Haagen-Dazs Peppermint Park ice cream is already at the stores.
That's your kryptonite.
I was like, this is It was in September.
Yeah.
That shit usually doesn't come out until like late October. You start seeing it trickle into the stores.
This is why
they're advertising it at Bel Air right now.
Yes.
And you know what happens? All the people like me
crazy.
go in, and we know that it's always only for a few months and it's scarce.
Yeah.
And so, like yesterday, I bought 8 of them. It'll take me a while to eat 8 of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I bought them because they're available, because people, for some reason, we all know that people buy up a bunch of it. So when we actually see it on the shelf and it's on sale like it is right now,
yeah.
I was like, I'm loading up. You know, I'm storing up for the next month.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll go in the store, like, it was still on sale and there's more supply. Oh, I'm getting it. Because what happens is those guys go, oh, peppermint bark, I'm gonna go get it. And then you go to the shelf and it's empty.
Yep.
Because
people like you
and ever since
smart.
ever since 2020, there's been this like a limited amount.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to get enough to keep it on the shelf, because it is the best thing. Let's say somebody raped and murdered my daughter.
Yeah.
And then I went and killed them and had to go to prison, and they go,
your last meal.
This is your last meal. I'm like, give me some Haagen-Dazs peppermint bark ice cream.
A gallon.
Now it is all sugar.
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs is clean per se, but it's all sugar.
Yeah.
You know, but it does have a bunch of preservatives and all that crap in it, and it melt. It's like if you made homemade. That's the thing I love about Haagen-Dazs is it melts quick. And it tastes amazing, but there's a ton of sugar in it. So I can't eat that much of it. But, you know, I love it. And so it's out already. But I get it. It's wintertime.
Yeah.
People are not moving as much. When it's raining and cold and windy and snowing, depending on wherever you're at, icy.
It gets dark at 4:30.
You're not out moving as much. You're indoors. And if you're not going to a gym, or if you're not doing in-home workouts or something, you're not moving as much, and then, oh, I got all this stuff I can eat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the weight just starts piling up. You got Halloween, then you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas parties, you got alcohol going on. During the winter, a lot of people drink a lot. You know? Yeah. And so there's not a lot to do. You know, oh, big storm's moving in. Let's eat food and drink alcohol. You know, Christmas, there's a ton. You got New Year's parties.
Good thing.
It's a time of year where people fatten up. And so if you do not want to fatten up, number one, get a personal trainer, show up to that personal trainer, and work really hard and be disciplined with your diet. You can do that. You know what? You can work with me personally, either in person or online, anywhere in the world. Because I have a great online program. And you can just send
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, but you can put it you can just contact me at the Roseville Strength and Conditioning. That'll be on the bottom of the screen at the end of the podcast. But I do online training, I do in-person training, I do online nutrition as part of that program, and I can train anyone anywhere. And then when you get to January 1st, you're not going, I need to make a New Year's resolution to lose the 10 pounds I was already overweight and the 10 pounds I just gained over the, you know, so you won't be in that place. And then when everybody's stuffed in the gym, you'll already be in a good place mentally, and you won't feel like, oh, I don't want to go in the gym with all these other people. You're already going to be in a better place.
This is what I really like about the Spartan race in the fall, because like I need to be in like tip top shape.
Yeah.
And that'll keep me from like, all right, I can't load up on Halloween candy and spice and pumpkin spice, because I got to get my weight down and get my muscles up for this 10K.
Yeah. I'm not even that worried about the Spartan races. February 1st is the High Rocks race. Yeah. And so you got to run 5 miles and do 8 brutal exercises, and we're going to Vegas to do that.
Yeah, but you're married now, so I mean, you got to really.
You know what's cool is, so I'm doing that mixed doubles with Sarah. Yeah, and her husband's going, and then now my wife is going. So we're going to go to Hell's Kitchen. We have reservations. Yeah. We're going to do a little couples date to Hell's Kitchen.
Ooh, yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then my wife and I are going to go see Shania Twain's residency that night. So,
don't get soft on me.
But I got to be in really good shape, because I'm running that race at 7 a.m. Yeah. And then we got that whole long day. I can't just be like crippled and like exhausted and taking naps in the middle of Shania Twain. So I got to be in real good. That's what I'm really worried about, and what I'm starting to really ramp my training. Yeah. That's why I was like, when I saw peppermint bark, I'm like, I got too much running to do. I got to lose 10 pounds. I can't be like eating all this peppermint bark. But I was like, all right, I got to be disciplined. I go, you can't eat it all the time, you know,
Yeah.
just because it's sitting there. So we'll see. Or sometimes maybe I just go, I'm not having dinner tonight. I'm having peppermint bark. I'm eating a whole pint.
It's like,
all my calories.
Yep.
And, you know, like, for me, like, I'm not as strict during the winter either, you know, because a lot of times what I do is we're running these Spartan races.
Yeah.
But now I have that Hydrox on February 1st. I can't be doing that. A lot of times what would happen is we'd do all these Spartan races here in fall and early winter. And then I would be like, all right, I'm in real good cardio shape. I lost weight to do the races. Last November, I was like 202, 203. Right now, I'm like 212-ish.
Yeah.
And so I need to lose about 10 pounds. With that being said, after we got done, I'd be like, I'm just going to lift heavy and eat whatever I want and just bulk up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For like 3 or 4 months. Now it's like I can't do that because we got that on February 1st. And then I was already like, all right, if I'm doing the High Rocks, then Deca Fit will be in late April, early March at the Convention Center in Sacramento. So I got to stay in shape the whole winter and spring, you know, so I got to get down to that spot. I've just been resisting running a lot. I've been doing a lot of hard workouts, but I just haven't been running as much. But I've ran a couple 5Ks on the Air Runner. Yeah. But I am not in running shape right now. So I got to really ramp it up, especially with doing back-to-back Spartan races at the end of November. So
what I like is after the Spartan race, I'll be down about like 203, 204. And then I'm like, okay. And then there's Thanksgiving right after that. And I'm like, back up to 210. And I'm still getting,
you know what? I don't.
I feel better.
Here's the thing about the holidays. Like, yes, I'll have Thanksgiving. There'll be a couple days where I'll have some turkey and rolls and mashed potatoes and those things. But that's just a couple days, and then I'm right back on routine. My problem is there's all these great sweets during the holidays. You know, these frosted cookies.
They come out of the woodwork.
Homemade caramel. My mom makes fudge, homemade caramel. You know, homemade Rocky Road. She makes homemade Twix cookies.
Well, how come Can you tell your mom to share some of the goodness?
I love it. But that's why I have a sweet tooth. But then I have to be resistant to those things. Moderation.
That's so really
when
hard
I have,
for me.
and it's one of the things I was going to talk about with all these parties coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas is, so in the winter, you got to move, you got to work out.
Yeah.
If you don't work out right there, your basal metabolic rate's going down because you're just sitting around too much or indoors, you're not working out. All right. When you have nice days, like there's a lot of really nice days in the winter in California, which is great. Maybe Ohio, not as many nice winter days. But for me, I'd be able to get out and run outdoors and do those things probably 50% of the time in California.
I don't mind running in the rain in California.
I went up and ran in the rain and mud in California.
Ohio, you'll get this nice snow slush rain coming sideways. It was just tough to run it because you just get
like when we did the Tahoe race in 2019, the World Championships for Spartan race up at Squaw Valley.
Yeah.
Started the race. It was 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts of wind.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting off at 7,000 feet and going up to 8,000, 8,600 feet or something, or 6,800 feet up to, I don't know, something. I think the highest we were at was 8,600 feet or 84, something like that. It's been too long since I looked at the numbers, but it was like you basically started out 56 mile an hour gusts, 34 to 36 degrees. But then when you went up to high camp, it was freezing. And the wind just blowing in your face. It was brutal. But then later it snowed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it hailed. Then it started snowing. And then a thunder and lightning storm came through. Luckily, I was right at the finish when the thunder and lightning started because they shut the race down for like an hour and a half.
Oh, man.
And that's when Elisa failed because she was only halfway through the race.
Yeah, you don't want to stay out there for an hour and a half.
She still had another 8 miles to go. And she stiffened up and stuff and said, I can't go. But I was at the end of the race, you know, they just went, I got to skip 2 obstacles that were metal.
Yeah.
And then I just was at the finish line. So I just basically ran to the finish line. I didn't have to do the Herc hoist or, you know, they're easy. The A-frame where you climb up the net really high that you're scared of.
Oh, yeah.
That I had to almost push you over the first time.
Yeah.
That one and the Herc hoist I got to skip because they were metal frames and there was lightning.
I hope just run lightning at the 10K because I don't want to do that.
No, there won't be. There might be some rain, but I doubt there'll be lightning, especially that early in the morning. Usually that's an afternoon development.
Yeah, especially in Sacramento.
And up in the mountains, it's different. So you're not moving as much during the winter. See, you're sidetracking me. I keep having to repeat the same things. you're not moving around as much, and then there's a lot more sweets, a lot more food to eat, alcohol, and so that's why we start gaining weight. Halloween, how much Halloween candy is out there right now?
Oh my God.
Do not buy it until a few days before.
Yes, I've learned that the hard way.
You will eat it all. I have no Halloween candy in my house till like 3 days before. Then I DoorDash it because I don't want to go there because then I'll go to the store and be like,
one bag for them, one bag for me.
Oh, I'm getting the Reese's for me, and then I'll get the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
I'm not that way. Actually, I give out pretty good candy, but I'll actually eat the candy that I give out. But then I'll see stuff like, you know how they'll have like the big Hershey things like $7 or $8. It's like a Hershey peanut butter cup.
Yeah,
it's shaped like a pumpkin or something. And then I'll buy that for myself because I love sweets. I eat really healthy.
Yeah.
You know, like broccoli, asparagus, chicken, tri-tip, pork tenderloin. I'm eating all these healthy things, but I got a sweet tooth. So I got to really resist. It's discipline. It's like not buying it and bringing it to your house.
Yeah.
You know, so that's very important during this time of the year. So this is the fattening up time of year. We're in it. We're in October. October 15th to February 15th, the average American gains 7 pounds. I've seen studies that show the average American gains 10 pounds. I've seen it be 4.5 pounds, but I kind of believe the 7 pound one.
I would lean more than that, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and that's the average. That means there's people that don't gain any and people that are gaining, 20 pounds, because it's just an easy time of year to gain weight. And you're not covering it up by wearing a sweater. You're really not. So stay in shape. If you're in shape right now, stay in shape.
Yeah.
Don't lose moderation. Small plate at Thanksgiving. Have a dessert, but don't have 5 desserts. Don't drink, 5 beers.
The easiest way
party
not
it
to
up.
gain
Drink
weight is
1 or 2 beers, or take a shot of whiskey and have a beer.
Don't drink your calories. Don't drink your calories.
Yeah. So that's what's really important this time of year is stay moving and don't and just be consistent with your eating and be moderate. That's the big thing is moderate things. That's the problem with holidays. That's the problem with birthday parties, with Christmas, with New Year's, is everybody just goes hog wild. If you're being moderate with stuff, you can eat some bad stuff, just don't eat too much of it. And then be really good for the next 6 days afterwards and go, all right, I had one cheat day this week.
Yeah.
It was a rough one, but I only had one. Don't let it continue on. Because that's a big problem a lot of people face. So that's my talk about winter. If you need help during this winter, I would be glad to help.
Check the show notes.
That's right. And you can see the website. It'll show up at the end of the podcast down at the bottom. Follow it. Send me a message. I can get you started. All right. Any comment?
I'm sad that I'm not your best man. Gonna cry.
Well, we're not done yet, so
I'm
talking about fitness in the winter.
I thought we were gonna head out to Vegas together with me, you, Matt, some of the fellas, where we can do some extreme workouts, have a smoothie shake, and be in bed by 8:30.
No.
All right.
I'm 51 years old.
I know you're young.
I am young for my age.
I'll be 52 before you.
I don't want to go out to Vegas and do stuff. Like, it sounds like a ton of fun going to hell. I could really care less of it. I'm not like the Hell's Kitchen thing is more for like Amber and maybe Sarah. Sounds like she really wants to go to. Yeah. I'm not I will guarantee there's whatever the hotel we're staying in probably has a great steak bar or steakhouse, and stuff. It's like, all right. But apparently, Hell's Kitchen is, I never watched the show. I know who Gordon Ramsay is. I never watched the show, but apparently it's awesome. So I was like, all right, that sounds like fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Shania because I grew up, I had the Shania poster on my wall as a late teen, early 20s. The midriff one.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I always liked her songs. She was a really good videos and songs, and so I'm really excited. Apparently, the shows she puts on is she comes out on a white horse and does all this stuff. So it looks pretty cool. All right. Oh, we're making pretty good time.
Yeah, we might end on time for once.
No doubt. All right, so I was going to talk about a book I read.
Yeah. That
I highly recommend. It was really was it the best? I can't say it was the best written Star Wars book, or because they try to do it in the first person, through Luke's eyes. But where it's set at gives you so much context for the original movies.
Nice.
New Hope.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. It's right in between. It's set between after he blew the Death Star up.
Oh.
And now they're the rebellion still, but they blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
But now the Empire's like really ramping up, trying to get them and find out where they're at. And Luke's doing these missions and he's not a Jedi, obviously, but he knows he has some abilities, so he's trying to figure stuff out. He's trying to move stuff with his mind and failing or not doing good, or he can feel the Force. And there's all these different things. And then towards the end of the book, he starts being able to pick stuff up and move.
My God!
And he gets his first kind of real girlfriend who helps kind of almost motivate him. And she's tough and hardcore, but then she ends up dying.
Well, he has a type.
Yeah, he has a type.
Tough, hardcore that die.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it gives you so much more insight into Empire Strikes Back in the training with Yoda, because he was trying to learn this stuff and develop himself, but he just didn't know he had a teacher out there who could teach him, but he wanted a teacher and he wanted to find this stuff out. And it was this maturation process of Luke that you never get to see, because you just go from New Hope, he blows it up, and then all of a sudden he's going, they're on Hoth, and then bam, he's going to Dagobah, and training with Yoda. But there was this period of time in between. Yeah. And this is all first person, how he's feeling and seeing all this stuff. Leia's in it. Han and Chewie are not in it. They're off trying to gather enough money to pay
their thing.
Paid Jabba the head off because he blew all of his money that they gave him.
All right, I'm going to say something. I know this is going to be a digression.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when Luke finally gets to Yoda and Yoda looks at him and like throws his lightsaber away and says, I'm not going to train you. I've quit. I fought. I lost.
Yeah.
We're done. We're out.
That would be, but he didn't. He relented.
I know.
Obi-Wan showed up and went,
Mom, bro. That's what he said.
He's not too old. You can train. So anyway, but that would have been tough. Like you're yearning for a master, and now all of a sudden you're going to get to train with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Who Yoda was, taught him when he was younger and stuff too. But obviously Qui-Gon was his master. But
I was talking about
all the Jedi start off with Yoda.
I was talking about how if Yoda acted like Luke did when Rey came to him.
Yeah.
And Yoda's like,
that's one of the other things in there.
I'm done.
Thanks,
Yoda.
The Rey movie, all rumors are from Star Wars coming out.
Yeah.
It's been put on hold.
Yeah. I didn't want to get full digression, but we just had to mention it.
Anyway, this book, I'll step back into the book.
Okay.
Highly recommend it, especially if you love the original three. If you're one of those
purists,
acolyte BS dumbasses that think that's a great show, probably not going to like the book. But if you're a purist George Lucas Star Wars person, not Disney Star Wars, but George Lucas Star Wars, this book was, and I've seen this book. This is what's great is there's all these books like Outbound Flight I told you.
Yeah.
You see it and you go, like you read the synopsis and you go, it might be good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you don't read it. And then when you finally read it, you go, God damn it, I should have read that before because it was so good. So now I'm just like, I'm trying to consume all these Star Wars books. And now I'm in the Old Republic phase right now. Like Revan, the Bane, those are all the old. There's a bunch
I have
of
a homework
Republic
assignment about this for you.
Uh-oh.
All right. We need, by the next podcast, you need to make a list of the proper reading order of these different sagas.
So hard because they
like
put
Old Republic, then the Luke from
well, there's a timeline. There's timeline. I've looked at them, but they're very confusing because
that's why we have you reading.
Some of them don't have all the books in it, and so it's a timeline from 2014 or something, or 2005, and there's so much they added into them until Disney bought. Then when Disney bought, they still added new books that were good, and then they got it as soon as they started doing the New Republics or the High Republic stuff, the stuff that they're the Kathleen Kennedy stuff where they wanted to do the High Republic and do books and then eventually develop.
I'm tired of your excuses.
Acolyte bullshit.
I need to know the order of from Luke, from the Outbound Flight, from like this Heir to the Empire. Like, give me the full Luke experience written down.
That's not hard. I've already read all those.
That's what I'm saying. You got
this one was
put them in order.
This isn't the last one I have to read because there's the courtship of Princess Leia. There's all these ones, and they don't interest me that much. But then I read one like that, which didn't interest me that much before.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, holy crap, this was awesome. It gave so much more insight into Luke and what happened between the original blowing up of the Death Star and Empire when he starts training with Yoda. It was so good. And right now I'm on book 4, because some of the book, like Revan is one of the books that was before this. I'm book 4 or 5 of the Old Republic. So I think there's like 11 or 12 or 13. I don't know. I haven't. That's the thing is like I just try to go in order, and then I look at it, like I'll find a book and it's like book 9 in the series. I'm like, well, I know there's 9 books. So I think there's 11 or 12, but it's just a bunch of it's all the Old Republic books that are based off of the one that I'm reading right now. Shatil Shan is the Grand Master of the Jedi. And her son is who she gave up at birth and never, like her Jedi master who taught her, raised him because she was at war and she was going to be the grand, and it was kind of known she was going to probably be the Grand Master of the Jedi and for everything that she wanted to do, so she had to make the hard decision to give him up at birth. Yeah. But Theron Shan, because she Jedi number 1 weren't supposed to have relationships, but she ended up banging one of the guys that she fell in love. It wasn't just banging. I mean, come on. She fell in love with a guy who was basically a colonel and was basically helped her. They'd saved each other's lives a few times or whatever. And he was in charge of the troopers that were with her at the time, the actual military that she was part of. Almost kind of like how they did in the Clone Wars, where there was a Jedi with a group of clone, troopers and stuff. Except these weren't clones; these were just New Republic soldiers that were there, and they were fighting against the Sith and the Sith soldiers and stuff too. So it was like Shatil Shan. Do you know who she is? Vaguely. All right, like in the videos where somebody, who Darth Malgus is, right? Yeah. Yep. When he gets slammed, they're going through the woods. And the trees are getting knocked over, and he gets thrown up against, and a bunch of rocks fall on him. Yeah. That was Shatil Shan that was fighting him. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Jace was part of that battle too. So anyway, good book. The book is awesome, and there's so much to it. Like if you only watch Disney Star Wars shit, or read the High Republic, you're missing out on so much. It is, every time I read a book, I'm like, God, it was so freaking good. Yeah. And so now I'm just like, I got to read all these ones I kept putting off, like the Courtship of Princess Leia and the Mace Windu Shatterpoint. Because for me, it's like certain books really interest me, and then other ones don't. Like if Timothy Zahn has a new trilogy with Thrawn coming out, I'm like, first in line. Yeah. I'm like, that I pre-ordered it 2 or 3 months before it comes out. Then as soon as it comes out, I'm downloading it. I'm digesting it within a weekend. Like there's certain things but there's certain books I'm like, I don't even know who this author is, But Heir to the Jedi, it was awesome. I highly recommend it. All right. There you have it, folks. Is that it? Unless you got another marriage you want to talk about, secret family or something. No, I was just going to be like, we got some stuff like, oh, you know what? I did have one other thing. Okay. So Amazon spent $1 billion on Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, and buying it. I still haven't watched it yet. Have you finished? This week, I think, is the final episode. I think in season 2. But I'm not a Tolkien nerd, so I don't know. We've talked about this on other podcasts, so I don't know everything that's bad that's being done. Yeah. But it's really, the characters are horrible. The character development are horrible. Like I literally want to get on the screen and Celebrimbor is one of the worst characters I've ever seen. And I don't know it, but I'm just like sitting there. I want to go on the screen. I want to pick on this one. God, you dumb. Like you're just like, he's supposed to be like a 1,000-year-old out there, like super old, experienced, super wise. And he's just manipulated like a little kid by Sauron. It's like, he doesn't even know he's Sauron. But it's like the guy doesn't have any critical thinking skills. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're just like sitting there, and there's all this stupid stuff that goes on it. And then last night they have 4 new episodes out of Unsolved Mysteries, which they don't spend a ton of money developing those. You know? And I'm sitting there going,
and you're a sucker for those.
I loved Unsolved Mysteries when I was a kid. That was great. And they stepped back and revisited the episode on Roswell.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they revisited the original Roswell one on the new 4. There's 4 new episodes.
Yeah.
Because they come out with like 4 episodes every 3 or 4 months. So you think about how much money that Netflix spent on Unsolved Mysteries. Now I'm saying they're not comparable shows. It's not like a fantasy, type thing based off novels. I would watch Unsolved Mysteries 10 times out of 10 over watching The Rings of Power.
But
and you get personal preferences and all that. It's entertaining, well made, and you're not sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know all the stuff that's going on. I've listened to some people talk about, like, when they review some of the past episodes, how bad it is. And they're like, this doesn't even happen in this time. I don't care about it. Just the character development is not good. The story is not good. And there's a lot of stuff that's just unbelievable in it where you're just going, what kind of, I don't know. I was just like, how can you spend that much money and then not make a good show?
Because they have so much money they don't know what to do with.
They don't want to lose money.
That
Amazon
guy who owns Amazon again? What's his name?
Jeff Bezos.
Yes, he funded almost personally 4 years of The Expanse because that was his favorite show. Put tons of money in there.
I would do that too if I had that much money.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
I could see.
I would say
Bezos.
The Expanse. I watched 1 season of it.
100 million. Throw some more in there.
I watched 1 season of it, and I'm sure if I would have went back and watched the 2nd or 3rd season, I would have. I don't know if it got worse or if it got better.
It completely changed.
I found it was average at best.
Yeah,
sci-fi, and so like for me, average isn't. I don't have enough time to watch.
See that
it has to be a good show. Like I don't know. I just
sci-fi got rid of it.
But like, I was thinking last night. I sat down. It was it was the first night that Amber and I hadn't been like. Staying at the same house and stuff. Yeah. And she doesn't always like the same type of shows I like. So,
all right, well, we got a divorce her already. I'm sorry. I take back everything I said, Amber.
No, it's just one of those things where I sit down and I go. They had left when Savannah, my stepdaughter, had left. They'd left Netflix on. Yeah. So I go, well, let me see what's new on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I click on it, and there's a few new movies. And I said, new episodes of Unsolved Mysteries. Really? I click on it and I start watching, and then the rest of the night I watched an episode of Expedition Bigfoot too. I have one more episode of that to watch, which I love that stuff. That's the stuff he really hates. It's like Expedition Ghost Hunting. Expedition, she does not like that stuff.
So she has one flaw,
but she likes other stuff. Like she loves Yellowstone.
All right, well,
so
she's gonna make you wear cowboy boots and a hat.
But anyway, I was just sitting there last night when I'm watching these, and I'm thinking, this is so much better than the Rings of Power. And look at how much money they spent on this. And look how much money they spent on Rings of Power. And they totally effed it up.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Hollywood?
Too much money. They got all bought up in the streaming wars.
Look at Disney though. They're hurting financially.
Yeah.
They're like canceling shows, putting shows on hold that they say they want to do. Now, do I agree with them? Put Ray on hold till about 2090.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Leave it. Don't ever revisit it. Just put it on hold and never revisit it. But with that being said, they're doing a lot of these things out of finances. Like Kathleen Kennedy came and said, "Hey, we're not making these those. I know you guys want to make 12 episodes of The Mandalorian. This is what this has pretty much been confirmed. I mean, it was a rumor at the time, but then when asked about it, certain people said, well, we had a different vision for things, which is Hollywood talk for, she came and canceled our final 4 episodes and changed our story completely. So the Mando season 4, is it 3 or 4? What's the last one?
It was, I believe it was like 3 broken up.
Yeah.
Like first part and the second part.
So they wanted to do 12 episodes, and they had this whole plan of what they wanted to do. And some of it would be converging with upcoming shows. Yeah. They would have crossovers with Ahsoka and the Skeleton Crew
But stuff. Hey, we had to have one with Lizzo and Jack Black.
Oh, jeez. This is what I'm saying is how horrible this shit is. You know what? Lizzo and Jack Black should have been fat stormtroopers over in the corner.
Added nothing.
And they would have made a joke. Yeah, we got these new recruits. They're from a planet of overweight people or something. Yeah. I don't know.
On Winter Break.
Not main characters in a whole show about them.
that fit nothing with the narrative.
No.
But anyways, we got to wrap this up soon. This is going to be terrible to download.
But anyway, that was my thought on the Rings of Power. And then I watched Unsolved Mysteries, which is a doc where they go and do interviews and they do little reenactments and stuff and use old footage and everything. Just, you got to make good quality stuff or people are not going to really want to watch it. And they're not going to watch it a second time.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm married. Heir to the Jedi is good. Don't eat too much food during the winter and not move around. If you need to work out and you're having a hard time motivating yourself, contact me. Unsolved Mysteries is better than Rings of Power, and we are out.
Out!